Hello, everybody. Ryan coming at you with another installment of Gastric Measures. Thanks as always for checking out the channel. And if you would, please click the subscribe button below and, give me a like on this photo and please leave some comments. Let's chit chat. Especially if you are a VSG patient, either old or new, but especially new. I'd love to know kind of who's around my time. And please forgive the general unkemptness. I've been recovering at my parents' house, and I think tomorrow's my first day in a little while without anything going on. My kid's not around, and I will get to this, but I'm cleared to drive. So I think I'm gonna try to fire out and get a haircut tomorrow, and maybe get the old beard trimmed up too. So let's get into, first of all, what you're gonna want to know. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG surgery, at St. John's. Um, I don't know what they call it. It's St. John's in Grosse Pointe on Ross, St. John Health and Medical Center, something like that. But it's the first St. John hospital that I know of. There's like five or six in the area now. And my starting weight the day I started my pre-op diet, which is what I'm using as my starting weight, was 435.2. This morning I weighed in at 398.6. So that is a weight loss of 37 pounds just about, I think. Or maybe a tiny bit over? No, I guess 398.2 would have been 37. So 36 point something. Let's call it Let's just call it 37 pounds because I want to. And also takes me out of the 400s, which I am so happy to finally have happen. That's my first really big milestone, 35 pounds out of the 400s. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I know I'm supposed to like do something for myself, buy myself a present or something like that. And I might. We'll see. But I had to get two new tires. So maybe that was my present. Anyway, there's a bunch of things I want to talk to you guys about today. First of all, forgive me. Um, I'm a little froggy, actually. I forgot to do this beforehand. 2 seconds. I don't like to edit, so you get to see everything that's going on. I wanted to take another one of these. I took one this morning, like Zycam crystals, because I have a tiny cold, nothing major, nothing I'm too worried about, but my son has been with me for the last couple days, and he's got a cold and loves to drink out of Dad's water bottle. So now I have a cold, but I think it's no big deal. I'm not like staying away from people or anything like that. Just a little froggy. My mom has these, so I'm supposed to shorten your cold. Who knows? They're like healthy pixie sticks. So I put my notes away. So first of all, my recovery. My recovery is going wonderfully. Stellar is the word I've been using. Um, I was told by my friend, who's given me a ton of great advice, that I should take 2 weeks off of work, that I should move in with my parents for at least 2 weeks, and I should expect a lot of fatigue. Um, I'm very lucky that that hasn't happened. The first probably 2 3 days after I came home from surgery, I didn't feel wonderful. Um, I hung around on the couch. I got up every hour to try and walk a little bit, but um, didn't really do much those first couple days. And after that, something just clicked. By Tuesday night, I felt great. And since then, I've just been kind of living life. Last week, Wednesday, I went to Comedy Sports Practice, which is the improv theater that I perform with. I went to our weekly rehearsal, and I just watched. I just sat and watched, but it was nice to hang out and laugh with my friends. And tonight, I'm going again, and I may even get up and play a little bit. I feel fine. I feel that good. Um, I went out to the movies with my parents, which is something that I'll talk about later. part of something that brought up. But I went out to the movies with my parents, and we saw Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which was wonderful. Highly recommended. Um, we What else did we do? I went to see the Comedy Sports match on Saturday. Just went and kind of hung out and watched my funny friends. And afterwards, we hung out, and my buddy Tom screened a completely improvised movie that I was a part of that he made, and that was a ton of fun as well. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of stuff. I've been having a good time, and trying to enjoy my recovery, but also kind of enjoy life a little bit while I'm off work. Let me think. On Monday, I went to my first follow-up appointment with my surgeon. Um, it was 10 days after my operation, and since the last time he had seen me in his office, which was December 5th, I had lost 44 pounds. Um, I'm not using that number to track. I wanted to start with the number from the process. So that date was when I was there for the pre-surgery class, and I don't want to use that even as my starting weight, even though they do. Um, so yeah, recovery's been going great. I feel almost guilty about it. I have a lot of people in the VSG community and a couple of friends as well who have had the surgery who are kind of jealous because I have not had problems getting anything down. Um, be it water, be it protein drinks. I ate my one a day bowl of soup that I have, which is roughly a half cup of soup. Um, and it's a really good, it's beer cheese soup from a restaurant um, in the area, which is, it's one of my favorite soups, and it's totally smooth. And it may not be the best choice, but if it's the only food I eat all day, that's that and some yogurt, and the rest is protein drinks. I kind of look at it as like, how bad could it be right now? I know that's dangerous thinking, and I'm aware of it, and I'm not always going to work that way, but right now, it's kind of like making the experience a little more palatable for me. So yeah, beer cheese soup. It's delicious, and it's really, I mean, I put in the stats for a comparable recipe from a bigger restaurant. And it's really, really not that bad either. The half cup, it's like, I mean, if you guys want to hear the exact thing, let's see here. It's 147 calories for the soup, 20 calories for the 4 tablespoons of Fairlife milk that I use to kind of reconstitute it because it's almost like a gel when it's cold. 9 grams of carb, 9 grams of fat, 7 grams of protein. So I mean that's not bad. I don't think. So yeah, um, that's kind of what I've been eating. I generally have that half a cup of soup. Might squeeze a Greek yogurt in, and 2 or 3 Premier Proteins a day, just depending on what time I get out of bed and if I remember. I've been trying to eat every 3 hours, but sometimes I forget, and or I'm busy and I just miss it. But I'm trying really hard to keep myself on a timer to do that. So yeah, the doctor was pleased with the weight loss. He's a surgeon, and a lot of surgeons I think have a a god complex going on, and they're very serious and not very like, I don't know. All he said to me about the weight loss was "good job," in about that tone, which is all I really expected out of him. That's almost like a hug to him, I think. But he's the best surgeon. He's really great. And like I think I've mentioned, or I'll tell you this, he said "good job" to me, and then he started talking about how difficult my surgery was, how it was one of the hardest he's ever done, and he really shouldn't have done it. And I don't know what he was looking for out of that, but I said I was very grateful that he did do it for me. And I'm going to take this time now to apologize for the lighting. I'm in my parents' kitchen, and it's very gloomy out, so there's no natural light. Um, so yeah, all I've got is this one kitchen light. So I'm sorry. Um, Usually I'll have better lighting. So, um, yeah, so that was my follow-up. They told me to stay on full liquids until February 2nd, which would make pretty much exactly 3 weeks. So that's next Friday, a week from Friday, which is totally fine. And then I do a week of purees and 2 weeks of soft, and then I am on my own. Now, I met with the dietitian while I was there too. I figured that I would have a lot of time. This doctor of mine is very, very thorough. He answers everybody's questions. As many as they have, he takes as much time as every patient needs. Because of this, he is sometimes 2 to 3 hours behind. And when I used to live 5 minutes from his office, they would allow me to call. They would say, call at your appointment time, and we'll let you know how he's doing. And if he's running on time, you can get up here, and if he's not, we can call you back when it's getting closer to like maybe a half hour before your appointment, so you can get up here, or a half hour before you're going to be seen. I don't do that anymore because I live about a half hour from his office, and I'm usually coming from work. So I just take, he's got Wi-Fi in his office. I just take my laptop with me and either continue working from the office if it's a work day, or take my Kindle and I read or watch TV or whatever. It's really not that big a deal. It's just kind of an annoyance. So I plan to talk to the dietitians while I was there, and or nutritionist. I can't remember her actual title. It's either dietitian or nutritionist, one of the two. And yeah, so I talked to her and I asked her about macros. I said, I'm going to function much better. I'm going to be much more successful if you can give me macro goals. If you can tell me, don't go over this amount of fat, don't go over this amount of carbs, get at least this amount of protein, all within this number of calories. I will be much more successful with that than if you just tell me eat low fat, eat low carb, eat a lot of protein. That doesn't help me. I need to know, for example, I saw somebody post something about Thomas double protein English muffins, which were always, ever since the first time I had them, were my favorite English muffins. They're really tasty and not crazy bad. I don't remember exactly what the stats are, but I think they have like 20 carbs in them. And I don't know what the net carbs is, but I want to know, okay, I get 50 carbs in a day. If I want to use this to make a breakfast sandwich, I want to know where it budgets my carbs. You know what I mean? And how much protein do I get out of it? All of that kind of stuff. So that if I know, I don't know. I'm not gunning to eat pizza again for a long time, but it is my favorite food and it tends to be my go-to. So please don't drop a lot of comments saying, "Oh, pizza's terrible." I get it. But when I say pizza, if I know my friends are going out for pizza and I want to have get a, small thin crust pizza and eat 2 pieces of it if that's all I can eat, and, take the rest home or give it away or whatever. If that's 50 carbs, I need to know that 50 carbs is my limit, and I just can't have any carbs the rest of the day. I need to, just eat protein the rest of the day, or maybe just have protein drinks for my other 2 meals so that I can enjoy that pizza. That's the game I need to play. That's how I work. However, she also said that to maximize my success over the next year to 18 months, which is, I guess, the sweet spot of this surgery, that I should be planning to have 2 protein shakes a day and 1 meal and maybe a snack or two, depending on where that fits in my time periods. And I don't know if I had forgotten about that or if that was new to me, but I was very surprised to hear that. I'm definitely, open to giving it a try. I'm not sure how long I could sustain that, and I really do want this to be sustainable. I don't want to be one of those people who hits their goal weight and then goes into maintenance and goes off the rails and regains a bunch of weight. I don't want to have that happen to me. I want to go into maintenance, and I really want to maintain within 10, 15 pounds of where I want to be. So I do. I want to create a sustainable lifestyle for myself. However, if for a year I need to do 2 protein drinks a day, or even if it's 1 protein drink and 2 meals, Like I feel like 2 protein drinks, that's 320 calories if I'm using the Premier. And she said I should be hitting 800 to 1,000, which leaves for my meal. She never said anything about snacks, but I'm assuming she's got that in there. But let's say a meal and a snack. That leaves 700 calories, roughly, at the high end, just for that, which seems like a lot. So I don't know if the idea is give me extra calories to play with on the meal I have because they don't believe I have self-control, or if this is really the way to go. I've had a lot of people, I talked about it on my Instagram story, and a lot of people reached out to me and said, "Yeah, that's what I did for, almost a year, and it will really work for you." So, I'm open to giving it a try. We will see. I may have to experiment with some different kinds of protein drinks because Premier only has 5 flavors, and only 3 of them are available at Costco. The other 2 are at Walmart and are much more expensive. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, that still hurts a little bit. Not too much anymore, but oh man, the first time I coughed and sneezed, whoo, damn, that hurt. Um, okay, let me get my notes back up here. They closed on me. So, this is where I go into talking about something I'm learning. Oh my god, this has got to be. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Um, oh, one last note. The doctor also, he made me very happy by clearing me for everything except swimming. I have to wait 1 more week to start swimming, which is kind of my exercise of choice. Excuse me. Um, but everything else I'm cleared to do. I can drive, I can exercise. Oh my god. I know I said it's just a little cold, but I might be dying. Um, Everything else I can do, and the best thing he told me was that I can pick up my son again. So that means that I can hold him. Um, Last week was hard with that. It sucked when he was here and he'd bump his head or fall down, and he would come to me crying, and I couldn't pick him up and tell him everything was okay. I could just kind of press his head against my belly and rub his hair a little bit. That was hard. That sucked. But now I can pick him up, so now I can play with him. I can do whatever I want, and that has made me very happy. So this is the crux of the thing I've learned here is that everyone is different. So some people I've talked to, like I said, they're about the same period I am, maybe a few days before, maybe a few days after. A couple are like 2 weeks before. They're like a stage ahead of me and are telling me like, I could not keep my broth down. I could not eat Jello cup to save my life. Guys, I'm sorry. I am not having that problem. It almost scared me. I told my friend I had the ridiculous thought pop in my head a few days after when I noticed I wasn't having that problem. It's like, what if he didn't even do it? Like, what if this is a mind over matter thing and he just told me he did it, and psychosomatically, I now believe I have a smaller stomach? Crazy. It's an insane thought, but still something I thought about. But now I'm realizing everybody's different. And the way I really learned about everyone being different was when I went to the movies with my parents. I I love movie theater popcorn. It's one of my favorite snacks. I love popcorn in general. I even like to make it myself on the stove. I much prefer that actually to microwave if I'm home to, pour the seeds in a pot with some oil and some salt or whatever and make it myself. It's so good. And it's not a bad snack for you. It's relatively low in carbs depending on the portion size. It's pretty high fiber. It's a relatively good snack, I think. It was definitely something I was encouraged to snack on as a diabetic over other things. So yeah, I love popcorn. And so going to the movies for the past 2 weeks on liquid diet, I went to see a bunch of movies either by myself or with friends or whatever. And going to the movies with my parents afterwards when I absolutely couldn't have popcorn, it was hard. I took a Greek yogurt and I took a Premier. with me and enjoyed those throughout the, enjoyed one of those during the movie and one in the car afterwards. But it was hard. My mom got some popcorn and the smell of it was hard. The whole thing was hard. But I went on to a Facebook group that I'm part of afterwards and I posted and I just said, hey, will I, or are you able to eat popcorn? And what stage are you at and how does it affect you? What's the cost benefit of it? So, and I got like 150 responses and they were all over the map. Some people were like, I'm able to, but I can't control myself, so I don't. Some people said, yeah, I'm able to have some, and it's, I get satisfied on a little, couple cups of it, and it's fine. And some people said, nope, I can't, it makes me sick. Some people said it's a slider food, so I just don't, I don't fuck with it. But the responses were very diverse. And so that, coupled with things I've been told by different people, tells me I'm just going to have to try things and see how they go, see how they affect me. Um, there are things I'm really hoping affect me negatively. The aforementioned pizza, it's a complicated feeling because I love it. It's one of my favorite foods. Detroit itself has its own style of pizza, which is outstanding and which I'll probably never eat again. It's just it's a deep dish type pizza. Um, and actually, I would be happy with that pizza, just scraping off the toppings and eating that, which is, no carbs, all fat and protein. I would be happy doing that. I would consider that probably just as good. Um, but yeah, I kind of, it's my hope that I might try pizza one day and get sick from it and never eat it again. That would help my diet. That would help me out. That would eliminate a temptation for me. Um, that some days I'll be strong enough to stand against, and some days I won't. So that's my thing is that I'm learning everybody's different with everything, and all I can do is take as much advice as I can from everybody and see how it works for me. Um, the last thing I wanted to talk about is trying to think of some things that I'll do um, when I lose weight. I've lost 37 pounds so far. I think I got a little arrogant in how much I've lost size-wise because I went into my closet. I stopped by my apartment yesterday after going to the gym, and I went into my closet where I have a big box of clothes that don't currently fit. And I tried on some t-shirts that were a size smaller than I'm wearing now. And they don't quite fit yet. But I think another 10, 15 pounds, which, based on current trends, maybe 3 weeks, they will fit. And that's huge. Because some of my favorite t-shirts, some of my band t-shirts and stuff like that, um, fall into that size range. And I miss wearing them. So I'm excited to be able to wear those again. I will miss my comedy sports t-shirts because they're all 4XL. I bought them all when I was a 4XL. And I'll probably keep those even though I'll never wear them again because they're mementos from various trips I've taken, things like that. And I know I'll get to get new ones now, so that's cool too. But wearing new clothes is going to be cool. I'm sure I will start buying some new clothes, dressing a little differently, things like that. And I think I'll probably travel more. I don't think I'll be as afraid to fly as I am now. Southwest has a great, they call it person of size, but it's fat people, um, policy where they will let you buy 2 seats and they refund the second seat, no questions asked. They ask you to front the money for the 2 seats, and then after your trip is complete, they reimburse you for the second seat. I guess it just helps them to plan for having somebody that needs 2 seats. And it's a great policy. It's, you get to board the plane first, and, it makes you feel a little weird because you're boarding with people who are handicapped or disabled or elderly, all those people. But, you get to pick the seat you want, so that's a bonus. And you don't have to sit by anybody, which if you're like me, that's one of the times I don't like to sit by anybody. First of all, because I'm uncomfortable, and I know they're uncomfortable. Um, I have to sit like this the whole time to make sure I don't encroach anybody's space. And on a 1 hour flight, like from Detroit to Chicago, which I never really even take, it's not a big deal. But if I was flying somewhere that's 4 or 5 hours, sitting like this for 4 or 5 hours, it hurts. And you keep your legs crossed, and you can't really sit on the aisle because you spill over. I worry about DVT and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I will definitely hope to travel more, go to more comedy sports cities, just do more fun stuff. Because the other reason I don't travel a lot is like traveling involves walking, especially if I don't take my car. Um, to walk around a town or go to a museum or go to a whatever, it's hard for me right now. But I think it's going to get easier. It's easier. It gets easier with every pound I take off. I know it does. Um, Another thing I'll probably do more. I might start going to concerts again. I don't really like going to concerts. I have to really love the band. And there are other reasons. It's expensive. It's never convenient. They're always cramped. They're always hot. But main reason is standing. Not many of the bands I really like to go see play places where you sit down. And the main reason is standing. And it's hard for me. And so I never get to enjoy the full concert. Usually by the time the band is halfway through their set, I'm ready to go because my feet hurt. So I haven't enjoyed a concert really in a long time. So I think that's it. I wanted to start doing a question of the week because I want to learn about who's out there. It's probably not going to be weight loss related ever, or at least infrequently, because I want to learn about who you are, and I want you to learn about who I am. Um, I'm planning a second video this week where I'm going to unbox a loot crate that I bought. So we might be doing that, tomorrow. Who knows? But I want this to be, like I've said numerous times, about more than just weight loss, even though that's the primary focus. Because I think once I get to 7, 8 weeks in and I start eating regular food and adjusting to that, by 3 or 4 months in, it's going to get boring, and I don't want it to get boring. So I want to talk to you about life and things like that too. So anyway, my question of the week, based on me going to see Three Billboards Out of Ebbing, Missouri, which was one of my top 5 movies from, I think it came out in 2017. Yeah, if it came out in 2017, it's one of my top 5 movies from last year. What was your favorite movie from last year? I want to see what I might have missed. So, what was your favorite movie of last year? You can tell me in the comments. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. Anything you think belongs on this channel, anything you want to hear about, please let me know. And that would be lovely. I look forward to interacting with more of you. I've interacted with some people on Instagram, made some friends already, and that's been very cool. And I would love for YouTube to be the same. So, awesome. Until next week, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.